So what are we talking about tonight, Mr. Bex? What's going on? We got to have some music here playing. Just like we do. What are we talking about?
I can. I don't know. I can see if I can find a radio. I don't know. We're going to have to just amp it up unless you want me to play something on the phone.
No, we're good.
We're talking about the dream team, living the dream, building the dream, teaming up with the dream. Networking is really what we're talking about, right? We're talking about the purpose of this group, the purpose of our network, why we do this. The people who are here tonight and the people that show up in our room are important to us. They're important to our business, right?
And they're important to your business. They're important to anybody on here. What people need to understand is the power is in the network and the relationships that you have all around you. And you've got a room full or a Zoom full of people that can give you access to information, give you access to deals, give you access to financing. And so we want to talk tonight about how to build these powerful networks so that you can go out and build your business, right?
That's right. All right.
Cool.
Well, who are you?
So for those that don't know, my name is Rob Chevez. I am one of the facilitators here at Grid. I helped start this 13 years ago, which is kind of crazy. And it helped us scale and build our business. My wife and I are active investors. And we started 20 years ago, Mark, which is crazy. We started 20 years ago with just an idea that we wanted to buy some rental properties to add to our family's wealth and legacy. And one property became two, became three, and we have a handful of properties that are almost paid off. I've got 16 properties that in the next couple of years are going to be paid off. Very excited about that. Very cool to see how they're accelerating now because they're all put on 15-year loans. And during the course of that time, we started buying and renovating houses, and then we started a team. I started a real estate team in 2009. And we've scaled it, and we're now part of Gary's top 100, Gary Keller's top 100 within the country. We're on the planet, actually, in the globe. It's the largest real estate company in the world. And so we're blessed to kind of do this every single day. I love what I do, and I love being your business partner, Mr. Mark Beckett. So what do you do, man?
Back at you, man. So Mark Beckett. What did we just say? With this 10 years? 10 years we've been doing this, right? Working on rehabs, doing a little property rental, construction. So I run our construction division that focuses on pre-sale renovations for sellers to get houses ready to list, to get them through their home inspection contingency removal process. And then when we're not doing that, we're hopefully working on some projects of our own. So that's kind of my main focus. And why we run this group is, I'm guessing Rob will tell you, he gets plenty of business from it for his agency group. I get business for our construction division. We find deals here. We've borrowed money from people in this group. We get a ton of value from this network, which is why we have an entire evening dedicated to talking about network building and maintaining and building these relationships, because we know how valuable they are. They're the reason we're here.
And we believe in coming from contribution and giving you guys information to be able to build your businesses, whether you're a new investor or a real estate entrepreneur or you're an experienced person. I know that at a minimum, we have some massive value that we can add to your life. At a maximum, we'll do business together, right? And what we normally do, right, Mark, is we let everybody kind of go through the room and introduce themselves real fast so that people in the room understand who's in the room, right? Or if you're a lender, say I'm a lender. If I'm a wholesaler, say I'm a wholesaler. If you're a rehabber, say I'm a rehabber. You could say I'm a newbie. So for those that are brave enough to unmute and say, hey, this is who I am and this is what I do and what I'm looking for, now is the time to do it. If not, you can add some comments in the chat, right? And we'll give you little shout outs. But go ahead. Like, let's see who's brave and who's going to introduce themselves real fast.
Somebody say hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi guys, my name is Sam. I'm actually a newbie and I'm looking to get into wholesaling. I just really decided that I really want to do wholesaling just because of the long-term goals. I'm only 20 years old, so I have a lot to learn and I'm pretty young. So I'm just here to, enjoy the journey.
Sam, that is awesome that you're 20 and you're starting to get all this information in your brain at such an early age. That's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Would you agree, Rob, if we were doing this when we were 20, we'd both have big boats by now?
If that was our life, maybe, right? But yeah, we're not into all those things.
No, I really don't want a boat, but I could have a big ass boat if I'd started when I was 20. So good for you.
Good for you.
You're doing the right thing.
My boyfriend, Christopher, he went to one of your guys' grid meetings in Reston, I believe, one of the very first ones. And he only said good things about it, which, made me even motivated to be in this webinar and check you guys out too.
Awesome. We hope to bring you some value.
Always good to hear.
Thanks.
And we will be back at it in Reston again as early as next month. So hopefully we can see you out there.
Yeah, I'll be there with him. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Good to see you.
Hi guys, I'm Terry Domansky, not new to real estate. Have been doing it on and off for 30 years, but finally getting serious about it. In the past, I've done the fix and flip mode, now focusing more on the buy and hold.
Got it.
So
well, Terry, welcome. Awesome. Very cool to have you here.
Thank
you. Yeah, good to have you.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to say hello?
Or just in the chat?
Hey, how's it going, guys? You guys see me?
Yeah.
Yep, perfect.
All right, awesome. Hey, yeah, Ruben. I'm actually just starting to purchase a property right now here in DC. Moved up from Miami. It's already been 2 years since I've been here. So I'm trying to expand my income opportunities here and looking at secondary and tertiary and so forth income, especially while you're living it, right? House hacking. So I'm just starting to get a duplex over here.
Awesome. Good for you. What area are you looking in, Ruben?
I already have it locked down. So it's actually here in Capitol. I think it's Capitol Hill. It's right next to the Union Station. So
awesome.
Nice.
It's a pretty good area. It's the worst one of the block.
The way to do it.
And I got it with 203K FHA. So very interesting, diving right into it and throwing some contractors at it and get it fixed up.
You're going to learn a whole lot through that process, my friend.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing it.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome. Welcome.
Shanti.
Hi, I'm Shanti Sethi. I'm a real estate agent, but I have a lot of friends who are very keen to go on for the investment, both ways, like buy and hold and fix and flip. So I'm into that, learning about this so that I can help them and maybe I can put my own money too in that and go on.
So awesome, Shanti. Thank you so much. Tara just said, hey, even when we do it, when we go live, will we live stream? We're going to live stream it. We're going to live stream this one on Facebook, and I did something that totally doesn't allow us to do it right now. So it's my bad. Let me see if there's some view options up here. Yeah.
When we are streaming, Rob, are you going to stream to Grid DMV?
Yeah, we would stream there. Well, we have the option. If we do it through StreamYard, I could do it through Grid DMV. I could do it through my Facebook page. I could do it through Grid Investor. There's a lot of different places I can do it through.
All right.
Yep.
Well, if you're not already hip to it, find us on Facebook. Grid DMV is where we post a lot of stuff, and you can post your deals, and you can look for contractors. You make referrals. It's the place for us to all kind of hook up offline. So please do that.
Naveen, how about you? I thought he unmuted him. Naveen unmuted himself, so I thought he was going to introduce himself.
Yeah.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, my name is Raj. You might see my name on the screen as Niraj though. And I have been in the real estate investing, like I would say a couple of years. And to be honest, I'm following footprints of Naveen. Like he's my he's way ahead of me and I'm learning from him. From my background, I have a day job. I'm in IT. And I am also a real estate agent in Maryland.
Awesome.
And my goal is to kind of meet people, network as much as I can, and grow into this space so that I don't have to have my day job and I can quit my day job. And the question I have for you guys is, if you have any advice for newbies like me, should we start or if there are real benefit for newbies to start their own meetup groups as well? So what do you think about that for newbie? So I will look for your opinion on that as well. So that's something I will look for.
Yeah, the biggest. Go ahead, Mark.
I just wanted to celebrate the fact that, what is this, like our 11th year? I think that is the first time anyone has ever asked, hey, should I do this? It's a great question. I think the short answer is probably, if you're willing to do it. Rob, we can just talk real quick about what we think makes a successful networking group like this. But if you're not aware, we have an expansion platform for this activity. You can actually get more information about it on our website at gridinvestor.com. But we have partners that host this same event in different locations, right? So we've got partners in Falls Church and Alexandria, in Gainesville, and Baltimore, and Upper Marlboro. We're getting ready to launch in DC and California. And it's going to be a thing. So first of all, pitch just for that. If you want to learn to do it the way that we do it, you can get information about that on our website. But yeah,
well,
we
the
do this for
truth is, Mark, we only, and so let me just hang on one second. Let me just text my wife something. Come film. Sorry. Let me just send that. I believe that you have to be able to provide an immense amount of value for it to be effective, right?
Yep.
And so the way that you develop that value is either you can facilitate by bringing people in the room, but they're going to have to be able to speak from context and real world experiences. And so you don't need to be the expert. You do need to be the facilitator. In our world, anybody that joins our grid platform, they've got to be pretty seasoned and experienced already, because we want them to be able to tell stories. And I believe that people learn through stories, right? And experiences, and hey, this is what I did and how I failed at it. And when I started mine, I maybe had 40 renovations under my belt and 10 buy-in holes, and so I didn't feel like an expert by any means, but I felt like I had made enough mistakes, right, to be able to kind of guide people through and avoid some of my mistakes, right?
No,
So,
this is a great tip, yeah. And I promise, I know I need to be earn a little bit more experience. I have done 4 or 5 rehabs already, but I promise you'll find me on your platform. I'll make my ways there.
Awesome. That sounds cool, Raj.
Cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks.
So what do we got?
Anybody else want to say hi before we keep sliding through slides? And if you're not feeling like saying hi, there's a chat box. Drop questions, drop chats at any point. If you have a question about anything,
Or just say, I'm an investor. Yeah, just say, hey, this is what I do. Put your email address. Part of this is getting other people to know what you do.
That's right. Yeah, definitely. Put your information up there if you want other people to see it. By the way, our information, both at the CAZA Group, so Rob, R-O-B, at the CAZA Group, and Mark, M-A-R-K, at the CAZA Group.
Put it in the chat. Andy, what's up, brother? Look at, I see you.
Hey, how's it going, Rob?
Good, man. Here's an investor for you. It's just moving forward. What's going on, Andy?
Yeah, so I just got settled in. So I went from 0 investment properties to 2 investment properties all in this year. So everything got pretty much settled in.
Nice.
And now looking for my 3rd investment property within the next few months. So it's been pretty exciting.
How'd you find them?
Huh?
How did you find those deals?
MLS, actually.
Okay, there you go. Good for you. That still works.
It can be done.
Still works.
It can be done. Absolutely.
You decided to buy in the middle of COVID, right?
Best time to buy. I got a 2.875%.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. You and I talked about that's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
That is catching the bottom right there.
Oh yeah, it was rock bottom. I'm like,
Wow.
let's move on a house like right now. It was literally like a spur of the moment decision. I wasn't thinking about it, and then when I hit 2.0, I'm like, you know what? Let's just buy like this weekend. Why not? So we went for it.
Very cool.
That is a cool thing.
Which area did you buy? Can I ask that?
Sure. Andy, I think that was to you. What area were these
Yeah.
deals in that you just bought?
Sorry, my daughter is excited to be on the Zoom call.
All right.
Awesome.
But my area is Sterling.
Sterling.
Cool.
Okay.
Sterling Park.
That's Sterling Park in 20165. So that's Cascades
Gotcha.
side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both good. All right, cool.
Good.
All right, then one more slide. Woo, small print, legal mumbo jumbo. Don't sue us. We're not here to give you information about legal advice or accounting advice. That's enough of that. All right, so tonight we're talking about our dream team and what we consider to be a dream team and what we consider to be people who you should be looking for to be on your dream team. And what we call a dream team is basically the best of the people who we already work with, the partners and the service providers and the contractors and all the people that you're gonna have to work with anyway in this business, right? One of the things that a lot of people like about real estate investing is you can do it largely on your own. At least you don't have to have a big company and you don't have to have partners, but you are going to work with service providers. You are going to need contractors and lenders and title people. Some of those people are going to be able to, hopefully most or all of those people are going to be able to help you find more deals and get more business and refer things to you. Those are going to be your dream team people. You want to identify people who know you, like you, trust you, believe what you believe, do things the way you do things, and you can send more business to them and they will send more business to you. And so what we're trying to talk about then is who those people are, how to identify them, how to love on them and keep you front of mind with those people. Because it's an 80-20 rule, right? Of the 100 people you know, 80% of your business will probably come from 20 of them. And I've found that to be true. Rob, I don't know if you would agree, if there's an 80-20 rule for your network. But surely a good chunk of our business comes from not necessarily the widest swath of our network. There are a lot of people that we get a lot of repeat and referral business from. So that's what we're looking for. And Rob, you're muted, by the way, if you're not aware. So I'm not talking over you intentionally. Well, while you get that figured out, I am going to keep talking. So what we're trying to do here are identify what we're going to call the superstars, the people that are doing more than just filling a role. And anybody in your sphere can be a superstar and do more than just their basic job. But what we're looking for are people who are going to be, lead sources and referral sources and give us ideas and energy and give back as much as we give to them. When you find it, you'll know it, and when you've got them, they will help you grow quickly. Do I have you back, Rob?
You got, yeah.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
All right, we can hear you now.
So you're going to find that 90% of the business is controlled, the wholesale business is controlled by the top wholesalers that are out there. 90% of all the real estate deals are controlled by the top agents, the top 10% of agents that are out there, right? And so, they talk about the 80-20 rule. I really feel like it's 90-10, not the 80-20, especially now with, I just feel that it's more like a 90-10. You could say that it's an 80-20, but it's the same thing with contractors, right? It's the same thing with title companies. You find that the best end up attracting everybody. And so you want to find out who the best are, the best contractors, the best rehabbers, the best wholesalers, the best title companies. And the best way to do that is to ask, right? And here's a common mistake, and know, Mark, I know we have slides, but I always like to talk off the cuff a little bit.
All right, go ahead.
The best way to do that is like I said, ask other professionals who they use, right? And what a newbie typically makes the mistake of, or somebody new into investing, is they always go for the least expensive route. Hey, ask me how I know that. I was a newbie. I remember when I did that. I went for the least expensive on like my accountant, my CPA, contractors. And guess what happened, right? I learned valuable lessons along the way, right? These valuable lessons were these professionals get paid just a little bit more money, right? It wasn't like a lot more money, just a little bit more money. But oh my God, they saved me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. Now, I made mistakes by hiring the inexperienced CPA that totally, bookkeeper that totally screwed up my books, right? Or the contractor that didn't finish the job. And so don't make that mistake, right? If you have the option, pay talented people just a little bit more to make sure that they get it done and get you to the finish line, right? I find that that's a common mistake people make. And by the way, this network allows you to tap into that so that you don't make those mistakes. I mean, one of the best contractors I found before we started our contracting business came from this network. And there was an investor who I was helping him sell his house. And when I walked in, I said, man, this is a gorgeous renovation. How much did it cost you? And he said, it cost me $35,000. I'm like, oh my God, give me your contractor's name, right? Because it was this mix between great quality and a decent price. And so, yeah, tap this network for that information.
In contracting, we say buy cheap, get cheap.
Buy cheap, get cheap. Yep.
Try to avoid that. All right, so we're saying that 20% of your network is going to be responsible for 80% of your business. Well, how do you identify these superstar people who are going to refer you business, who are going to want you to succeed, and who are going to help you to succeed, right? I'd say the best way to identify a superstar is to be a superstar, right? Givers gain is our philosophy. You want to become the resource for someone else that you want them to be for you, right? The more you put out in the way of good business, good information, a source of referrals, lead generation for the other people in your network, the more that you're going to get back. It may seem a little counterintuitive, but anyone you talk to that is in business is looking for more business. And if you can help them, they will help you. You just want to, it's all about making connections, right? Rob, that's the purpose of this network for us. We're just looking to kind of fill in the blank, be that missing piece for somebody, for the information that they need, the other person that they may need, a good contact for title or contracting, whatever it is. If you need something, we exist to try to fill that need. And get you that information, because we know what's good for you will eventually be good for us. So it's really about making connections.
Well, let me add a couple things real fast on that. Sure. So just add a couple things. So let's go through some of these people, right? How do you find who the superstar wholesalers are out there? Well, many of them are actively marketing their wholesale projects already, right? And today you guys have the benefit of being able to see who's marketing their assets, their wholesale deals on Facebook and on Instagram. So what you want to be able to do is when you identify somebody like that, they're busy. How are you going to get their attention? Well, you're going to get their attention by being helpful. And this is what Mark is talking about, by helping them somehow, by giving them something. And by the way, when you give them something, whether it's access to information, access to a deal, they're going to reciprocate. It's just a law of reciprocity. That's just how it works. And they'll remember you, because believe me, they get approached all the time by people that are constantly wanting to take, right? Constantly wanting to take. Mm-hmm. So if you can pour into them a little bit, you're not only going to probably get access to some of their best deals, you're going to develop a relationship, right? And so that's how you're going to find wholesalers. And by the way, rehabbers and wholesalers, you're going to find them at these meetup groups. But you're going to find, there we go. You're going to find these people conduct themselves a little bit differently, right? They're going to conduct themselves like professionals. They're going to stand out. They're going to have multiple projects already, and so you need to conduct yourself like a professional as well. People still use business cards? Let's talk about this. People don't use business cards, right, anymore.
I can't remember actually the last time I handed out a business card, and I go into houses fairly regularly. Actually, I did a couple of weeks ago. I did hand out a business card. Most of the time, though, you're going to meet someone based on some other interaction that you've already had, or most of that information from a business card has already been exchanged, right?
Well, you're gonna exchange, right? Like your Instagram handle, and you're gonna exchange.
Right.
Like you're just gonna find somebody on Facebook, LinkedIn. So those are the other places where you start identifying some of these people, and you could see the content that they're putting out there. Because if they're going to be good at what they do, they need to be adding content. Content's going to be either they're going to be putting out deals, right? Or they're going to be putting out information like this. And so what you're going to do is you're going to follow them and you're going to engage with them, and then you're going to try to add value. So people on the dream team that we believe you need to have access to: settlement agents, title companies, hard money lenders, contractors, suppliers, staging companies, real estate agents, estate attorneys, divorce attorneys, just attorneys, right?
Regular legal people. Yeah.
Yeah, wholesalers and other investors.
Yeah.
And what you find is that this business really is about co-opetition, not competition.
Right.
We all work together, right? The bird dog needs the wholesaler or the rehabber. The rehabber needs the wholesaler, right? The rehabber needs the private lender, the hard money lender. The private lender, hard money lender needs the rehabber, right? Landlords are often looking for property managers. They also need access to capital, right? They need different programs that are out there, so they want a lot of lenders, right? Traditional lenders. And they also want access to those wholesalers that are out there and agents. So it's like this, we're a tribe that kind of helps each other, right, in that process.
Yep. And co-opetition, I think, is an important term, Rob, right? Because we have other investors on this list of other people that you should be giving to, other people that you should be trying to help, right? And it's not an end sum game where I lose if you win, right? There are plenty of real estate out there. There are plenty of deals out there. I can tell other investors what I do that works, and hopefully it works for you. Hopefully you can go and get deals on your own. I'm assuming if I put enough good out there, maybe one day you'll look for a lender and I can hook you up with somebody that if they lend you some money, maybe I make a couple bucks. Or if we help you get into a good deal, you need to sell it one day, you're looking for a good agent. I'm partnered with a really good agent right there that can help you sell your house. I don't know necessarily where the business is going to come from. I just know that if you put the information out there, someone will do something hopefully with it, and the business will come back to you. So don't be afraid of engaging with other investors and think, well, if I tell them where I'm looking for deals or how I found my deals, that they're going to take all of them. It doesn't work that way. There aren't any magic bullets out there. Those of us that have been doing it for a while already know. It's okay to share information, and we think it's beneficial to share, right?
So let me give you an example of how I would be developing relationships with some of these people. I like to give real world examples, right? So a title company. Why do you want access and have a great relationship with a title company? Well, there might be times when you're trying to figure out whether or not you need to move quickly. You need to move quickly on a pre-foreclosure, and you want to know what other liens might be on that particular property. If you've got a relationship with the title company, you can literally call them and say, hey, I've got another deal that I'm working on. I'm trying to get it. Can you do a quick title search on this property? What do I need to be aware of, right? And so having access to a title rep like that will produce dividends for you. Hard money lenders, typically hard money lenders aren't going to really want to talk to you until you have a deal in hand. It's kind of like this catch-22. People always want access to hard money lenders, but the truth is, if you're new, like Sam, you're new to this business, the truth is you don't really need access to money. You just need the deal. If you have the deal, the money comes, right? I'll get that later. So if you have the deal, the money comes, right? Contractors, you should be driving around in your particular area and finding who the local contractors that are doing work in that area, because they can give you deals as well. So contractors like to focus on a particular area. I'm here in Reston, and so you'll typically see the same contractors or architects many times that are just working in the area. So I'd stop off at job sites and ask for business cards, right? Or take a picture of their truck with their sign, call them afterwards, or even just wander into the project and just say, hey, I'm looking for a contractor, just want to see your work, and just start engaging people that way, right? Suppliers, right? Mark gets cabinets on the cheap because he's got access to different suppliers that are out there, right? Right, Mark? That's something that you guys do?
It is. And while we're, maybe we'll get to this, talk about how to extract or expect business from your partners. I know you've got a good story about that. Yep. But yeah, who else though? These are kind of the usual people that we work with in rehabbing in the real estate business. Who am I missing here on this list that we could potentially get business from?
Junk hauling.
Junk, that's right.
Yep. Mailman.
Yeah,
right.
I know people who harass the mailman. When was the last time you delivered mail to a house that looked completely vacant, about to fall down? Could you give me that address, please? And put them on a postcard list. Yep.
Landscapers.
Yeah.
Right. I guess contractors are kind of like roofers, but there's all these different trades, right? Don't forget, you've got roofers that do stuff. You've got people that just specialize in gutters. These people are out driving around looking at properties all the time. They can be your bird dog. Yeah. You just got to be able to make them part of your network, right? And for those that don't know, a bird dog is somebody that essentially says, hey, I know of an ugly looking house, or a house that has some grass overgrown, or, it doesn't look like it looks like it needs some work, right? And they give you the address. And what you end up doing is, if you end up buying that house, you need to pay your bird dog something, right? Typically $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, right? Just whatever you negotiate with them out there. They're different from wholesalers. Wholesalers actually put the property under contract and then sell the contract. The bird dog just says, hey, there's something over there I think you're going to look at. And you want to make sure that you compensate that bird dog so that they bring more deals your way. Right?
Real quick, what about engineers or architects? Because I might be needing one now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mark is the person for you on that, right? Access to engineers, and architects. I find that engineers and architects aren't. You want to have everybody in your network. They're not typically the ones that are going to be bringing you deals, but they're definitely the ones that are going to be helping you execute on those deals, right? And so you have two sides, right? You've got those that are going to bring you deals, and then you're going to have those that kind of fulfill, right?
The benefit of engineer and architect, any kind of professional person that works in real estate, is they are working with people with houses, right? They may not be beat up houses that I might directly buy, but they are working with people with houses. And the thing about networking and getting referrals from your network is you never know where it's going to come from, right? Your job as an investor is to let everyone know that your job is an investor. And if they should come across a seller with a problem, a house that needs some work, a time constraint, please think of me. Let me know. That's what I do. That's what I'm interested in. Those are the people I can help. If you know of anybody I can help, let me know. I'd love to know about it. You just keep putting that message out there. And the whole point of this is identify the people you should be talking to, find a way to stay in touch with them and stay in front of them and stay top of mind on a regular basis, and then just put good out. Give good information, give other referrals, have other people give business. And when that architect, that engineer does, not necessarily because it's a client, but they just happen to know somebody in their neighborhood with a beat up house. Well, I'm not going to go engineer this house because it's about to fall in. Oh, but Mark and Rob buy houses. Those are cool guys. They've helped me with other stuff before. That's when we get the email. That's when we get the phone call. So it's really not even about a direct connection. It could be anybody. That's why we're saying the mailman. And the guys at Home Depot, you can be chatting up in line. Hey, hot out there, huh? Yeah, what do? You lumping concrete today? I'm renovating a house down the road. If you ever know anybody, this is the business I'm in. If I can ever help you do some more business, give me some cards. If you do concrete, I know people all the time that need concrete. That's what it's about. Putting it out, putting good out there, trying to help other people do business, and hoping that you stay top of mind when they've got something that you're interested in. So
let me, Sam's going to say something, but let me just say before you say that, there is in here, when you say real estate agents, it's good to have access to all types of agents that are out there, but there are some that specialize in distressed assets, right? So there are some agents that are REO agents, where they do a lot of short sales. You can find them in the MLS, and you can go and befriend them and develop a relationship with them. And they could get you access to some of these deals, right? Sam, you had something you wanted to say. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Just quick question. Is bird dog, is there any legal thing behind it in the state of Virginia, or it's completely fine to do?
Completely fine to do. As a real estate agent, right, I'm not allowed to pay somebody a commission, right, for a referral. As an investor, investors don't have those restrictions. But if I'm buying it for my own personal deal and not as representing the seller, I can pay a bird dog for that purchase, right? So sometimes people get hung up on that. There are no restrictions on that, right? Think of them as marketers, your sales force out there telling you about stuff.
Yeah, I think your point, Rob, is the restriction comes in if you have a license with who you can pay and what you can pay for in the way of a referral.
Yes. Now, I have a license and I could pay you a bird dog fee if I'm going to buy the asset. But if I'm going to represent the seller, then I can't. Right. You have to be a licensed agent for me to be able to give you a referral fee on that deal.
Yep.
And when you say you're representing the seller, you're working with them to get their house sold? Get their house sold, right?
Okay.
The good old-fashioned way.
The good old-fashioned way, right? And sometimes, we list a lot of as-is properties. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense for them to sell it as is to one investor. We can create an auction effect by putting it out to multiple investors and have that property get bid up, right? I listed one in Herndon here at 425, and it got bid up a good $50,000 higher because we created leverage, right? So there's different ways to tackle that.
And by the way, that was bought by an investor in this group, right?
Well, that was a different house, but yes.
That was Herndon too, right? We had two in Herndon, right?
Yep.
We had two in Herndon this quarter that were really investor grade, and one of them was bought out of this group. So talk about real estate agents you should know. Rob Chevez is probably a real estate agent you should know, because we come across deals that people in our group buy. Okay, anybody else?
Let me just direct somebody to a website. Go to Virginia Short Sale Advice. Go to Virginia Short Sale Advice. You'll see how, if you go to the CAZA group, you'll see how I play agent. I look and smell like an agent, right? But if you go to Virginia Short Sale Advice, you'll see a lead funnel for distressed assets. And you can create that kind of stuff on your own as well. But I have a lot of knowledge around pre-foreclosures and short sales. Okay, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
Yep. Just make sure that anybody else we should talk about on the list of people that we should be trying to turn into our dream team members.
So there are auction houses where they go in and they actually sell from the estate. They'll sell everything, that's in the house.
Yep.
There's companies like that. Maid service companies, right? That's another one. There's just a ton. So I would encourage all of you to just do a list of everybody that has something to do with real estate.
Yep.
And then add them to your database.
And then obviously anybody that you're already doing any kind of business with, anyone that you give money to should know the business you're in, know that you're looking for more. If it's deals, if it's leads, if it's wholesales, whatever it is, anyone that you pay for anything should know what you do for money and hopefully help you with referrals or leads, right? So Rob, what is your story about one of your first mentors and employers and how he wrings business out of people.
Yeah, he is. He's probably in the Guinness Book of World Record for selling the most insurance ever to the ultra wealthy, right? And he, when I was 22 years old, he gave me a list of every vendor that we had that we paid money to, and he said, make sure that each one of these people on this list are our clients.
The copier guy, the dry cleaner, the car mechanic.
It was everybody.
Everybody, right?
Everybody, right? That's how he became the best in the world at selling, because he is the best in the world at selling life insurance to the wealthy. And I learned a valuable lesson that day. It's like, hey, if you pay anybody $1, if I'm doing deals with people, if I'm paying anybody anything, I know that at some point I'm going to develop a relationship with that person, and that person will at some point get me a deal. It's just natural. That's just how it works, right? And I'm always thinking that way. And I'm always coming from contribution. I'm not going and asking, right? I want to help them build their business. Obviously, I'm paying them money. I'm helping them build their business. Right. And I want them to help me build my business.
They should want to, because you're helping them also, right? We're trying to give more than we ask. But it's also okay to have an expectation, or to at least make sure that anyone that you do give money to is aware of what you do, right? And it doesn't have to directly relate to real estate. If I can ever get back into the barbershop again, anytime I'm chatting with whoever's cutting my hair, they always, oh, what do you do? Always tell them what I do. Always make sure that they know, hey, you ever know anybody that has a situation with a house that probably could use a little bit of help? That's what I do. We help people with problem situations with real estate, get them fixed up to sell, buy them, whatever it is.
I don't want to talk to my barber. I'm like one of the...
When you're taking a nap?
Because I just want quiet. Just want quiet.
While you're napping, I'm asking if they know anything.
Yes. That's why you
it's worked. I've actually gotten contractors that way. I don't think I've gotten a deal, but I've gotten contractors from the hairdresser before. So yeah, the thought is, whether it's from giving or expecting, make sure everyone that you know knows what you do, and certainly anyone you pay money should know what you're looking for in the way of business and leads. All right, so where are we going to uncover all of these people? We've already talked about this a little bit, and you're cheating. You're already here, right here, right?
Here.
Is where you're going to
find. Meet up on Facebook.
You're going to find all of these people. You happen to be at the DMV's largest real estate networking entity here with us, but there are others. Some of them are almost as good. You should check them out. Make yourself known at other networking events. Join any other list that you can. Join any other Facebook group that's available where you can look for referrals and ask for information and share information and give information, right? You want to feed it as much as you take from it. But these kinds of events are the best place to find things, and that's what we exist for. So, by the way, we'll say it again. Anybody needs somebody, let us know. We got a guy for just about anything. And we're always happy to
got a guy
with other people. We've always got a guy or a gal for just about anything, and we're happy to refer them. So anytime you're looking for somebody for your network, start here. Ask us.
Well, we got somebody that said that they already need an architect and an engineer. So Mark, you make sure that you share that out, right? Your architect, your engineer. Anybody else need anybody? Well, okay. If you do, put it in the chat. Put it in the. That's part of, by the way, when you go to these. When we go back and start meeting people live again, one of the things you want to do is you want to start aggregating other people's networks. And you're like, hey, do you have a good contractor? Do you have a good lender? Do you have a good private lender, right? Who do you use for your self-directed IRA, right? People are going to share this information. So most of the time, not everybody shares, but most of the time.
All right. So that's my engineer, Nader. I don't have his information in front of me, but Nader El Haj, PE, he'll show up. He's in Fairfax. A really good structural engineer who is reasonable and intelligent and only does the reasonable, intelligent thing and won't have you rebuild entire foundations for minor issues that can be fixed. Helpful to have.
Licensed in DC?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know if he can stamp for DC, but worth asking.
He'll probably know somebody that does.
And if not, he'll know somebody that does.
Yeah.
Architectural engineer to repair a crawl space support beam looking in Virginia. Yep, Raj, that's it. Nader El Haj. I don't know, Rob, if you want to chat about something for a minute, I can look up his number.
Well, I was just going to say, right, agents know other real estate agents, engineers know other real estate, engineers. So like you kind of build that network through, the one person. We do business in Maryland, but it's not really what we do. So we kind of refer it out to other people in Maryland and other parts of Maryland, like our agent business. And I know who great agents are out there that will take care of people. So, just ask them, ask other professionals. They'll give you that information.
I have another question, if you don't mind.
Sure. Ask away.
Okay. And stop me if you feel like I'm asking too many newbie questions.
No, please do. Ask. Okay. Other people learn that way.
Oh my gosh, this guy again.
All right. Thanks. So I'm not a nervous guy in general, but when I'm looking for references from these groups, I still have trust issues.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to overcome, what do I do to overcome this trust issue? How do I make myself understand that if the person I'm engaging with, I can trust? So that's something I'm still struggling and I'm trying to find a way out of it. If you can help.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So first and foremost, the more market knowledge you have, the less you have to trust, right? Because you have the knowledge already. You'll know if it's a good deal or a bad deal. You'll smell. So first, get a lot of knowledge in your brain about whatever it is that you want to go after, right? That will help with that. The second thing is, today the world is very social and all information's online. So I would be looking people up on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, and I would ask people if you're connected, hey, do you know Ruben? Do you know Shanti? Right? I see that you're connected with him on LinkedIn. I want to know a little bit about him. I want to know. And so, by the way, if you're going to build this business, you need to build the same persona. I had this discussion with my team early this morning about how to be a prolific listing agent and how consumers pick agents. They pick a brand, and you have to, and your brand represents them, right? And your results represent them. So you need to make sure that you create the content and the aura that person would feel comfortable giving one of their greatest assets over to, right? And it's like that if you're a wholesaler or rehabber. So you guys need to be building that yourselves. But anybody that's good at this business will have an online, for the most part, will have an online persona. And then of course, some of those personas can be fake, but reviews are important to look at. And so you just need to ask the network, do you know this person? Right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
And my add to that, as far as how to know who to trust, that is yet another reason to try to find a referral for anyone that you're needing, who you're going to have an easier time trusting, a stranger that you've never met before, or at least a stranger that you've been told is good. So I just gave you the name of my engineer. I'm giving you his name because I would expect you to be able to say, hey, Nader, Mark at CAZA told me to give you a call. I've got a structural problem I want you to take a look at. I'm vouching for the guy. So that is automatically better than I would imagine going in the yellow pages and just going down the list and trying to find somebody there. That is the power of the network. Your trust factor will automatically be higher when you can say, or you'll hear from someone, oh, go to this person. They're great. I've used them. They're awesome, right? That's what a network is for. It helps overcome that issue.
Absolutely. Thank you. And if you don't mind to write the name and the contact in the chat, I'll pick it from there. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Nader's information is in there. Tell them Mark sent you. All right. So we kind of know who the people are. We know where we're going to find them. So how do we kind of stay top of mind with the people that we want to know that we exist and we want to send us referrals and help us with business? Going old school, people. Pick up your phones and call. The very best way to maintain and build a good business relationship, probably any relationship, but definitely business relationship, is with good old fashioned phone calls. Rob, how many phone calls did you make today?
Not enough, Mark Beckett.
Well, and your business has really shifted away from personally making phone calls, but how many did you make anyway?
Yeah, I probably made at least 15.
And how many do you think your best lead listing agent made?
Yeah, probably 20, 25. Right. Contacts, not calls, but contacts.
Contacts, yeah.
No, I know that when I first started in the business, I would have 8 contacts a day would generate $250,000 in income.
Yeah.
As soon as I went to 16 contacts a day, it generated $490,000-$500,000 in income. And so it's a math problem. And now I understand that for every 50 contacts that I have, it results in an appointment. And for every 3 appointments that we have, it results in 1 closed transaction, which is worth, $13,000. And so I could reverse engineer all my math to understand like what I need to make, right? Now it took me some time to figure all that stuff out, right? But once you have it, you understand that there is a touch game that's involved here. And I'm sure Mark's going to go into the whole touch process. Phone calls is one piece of it. Today you can amplify your voice here, right, or online, and these can also be considered touches, right? It's the law of one to many versus one to one, but belly to belly is still one of the most effective ways, as long as you provide value in that call, right?
Right. And I think one of the most valuable bits about that exercise that you were talking about in figuring out, all right, how many people did I talk to that led to, as an agent, how many phone calls to get an appointment, how many appointments to get a listing, how many listings to get a sale, and what is that sale average in commission, so that in a year, if I made $100,000, I know I sold 5 houses to do it. You can actually get to where you can do the math on per phone call, right? How much you're going to make by picking up the phone and calling people, right?
I have it per person that I put in my database, Mark Beckett. Every time I add somebody to my database, which, by the way, this is why we do this, I earn $550.
And so think about that,
now,
right?
I don't earn it straight away. I earn it over time.
But you earn it.
I earn it.
You know it. You know the numbers. You know what generates the business. And so now how willing are you to take someone's business card and put it in a database? Because when you do that, you just deposited $550 in the bank by adding that person to your database. That kind of helps overcome the drag or fear or whatever it is from picking up the phone. Just think about it. If I pick up this phone and I call 10 people today, each one of those phone calls is going to be worth $500, $1,000, whatever it is. You do it for a couple of years, you'll be able to do that math. You'll figure out how many people you talk to. The more you talk to, the more business you'll do, but you'll be able to figure out how many you talked to last year, how much business you did, do the math on it. I want to do more business, talk to more people. It's pretty straightforward, but it helps pick up the phone when you know what it's worth.
And if we go even deeper, and I don't know if you're going to go in this, but if you go even deeper, you could have about 150 relationships at any time, like people that you contact and talk. After that, it starts getting hard, right, to keep track of. Mm-hmm. You can grow that to about 300 core people that, that you can get in contact with. Think of like a wedding, like the people that you would invite to a wedding, right? Kind of like what we call our A's and our B's, people that know us, like us, trust us, but maybe are on the fringe of a little bit of like, we know them, they know us, but we don't know them so well. There's about 300. If you're like a ninja at it, maybe it's 500, but where it starts getting really powerful is when you grow a database to like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 people. And those people, you don't know them, but they know you, right? They don't know you. They know you, but you don't know them. And so through technology, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, emails, those numbers start just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's how I know it's 550, because I could take people in our database. I look at what we do in terms of revenue with our company, and I now have a very specific number. I know that I need to get to 10,000 people in our database, that I have every email address, I have every phone number, I have all their contact information. That's going to result in 500 transactions for us, right? To have that based on a 20-to-1 ratio. So for every 20 people I have in my database, I get one closed transaction of people that I'm touching super well, right? Now I have over 50,000 people in my database. If anybody's ever got an email from me, they probably know we send a lot of emails out. But they're not real. It's not a core strong group, right? It's 50,000 just blah. I'm just throwing mud against the wall. That works too, but 10,000 really good ones will get me what I want, right? And you don't even need 10,000. You can have a tighter one than that. But when I say 10,000, this is the entire company. It's not just not just me.
Right.
So know those numbers. And by the way, those numbers are the same for a wholesaler. That if you're a wholesaler, you're a rehabber, your target market is going to be real estate agents, right? Attorneys. Those are going to be some of your biggest people that are going to bring you deals. So then you just start asking yourself, how many real estate agents do I have in my database? How many attorneys do I have in my database, right? And am I communicating with them often enough so that they know that I'm a professional and they want to give me business, right? And that's the power of building a database. And by the way, you cannot leverage and scale this business unless you have a database. And Mark, is that the next slide? Am I jumping ahead?
Yeah, probably. That's all right. But before we do move past it, phone calls, text. We'll get into the other stuff later. But when you're making your phone calls, Rob, I assume you're calling people and saying, "Hey, Joe, this is Rob, your realtor. I need to sell a house. Can I sell your house?"
Nope.
No. What do you say?
I always just think about making a deposit. How can I add deposit into Ruben's life? So I might know something about Ruben, and maybe he's looking for properties in a particular area. I might just call Ruben and say, "Hey, Ruben, it's Rob. Do you got a second for a quick business matter?" He'd say, "Sure." Say, "Awesome. Hey, I ran across this deal in the Herndon area. It was something that you had said that you would potentially be interested in. If I ever ran across it, well, I've run across it. I thought of you. I don't know whether or not, you're in a position to want to do anything, but I thought I'd send it your way on the off chance you might have an interest in it," right? And so he knows that I'm bringing him value in that respect, right? Or it could be a client and interest rates have just dipped down to historical lows, right? And if I'm your real estate financial planner, right, that's how I look at myself. I look at myself as a real estate financial advisor to my clients, and I know that your interest rate's at 4.25. I'm going to call you up and say, "Ruben, you might consider refinancing your property right now because interest rates are super low and you could save yourself a ton of cash," right? So my job whenever I'm thinking about adding value is, can I help you make money or can I help you save money? Those are my two calls. Can I help you make money? Can I help you save money?
And so if you're looking for some secret sauce in this business, how many people call you looking to give you something? I know everybody thinks they've got something of value that they're trying to sell you, but how many people actually just call to say, "Hey, I thought of you with this thing that I thought maybe might help you make money. Are you interested? Can I tell you about it?" Right? With no other agenda. That's still relatively rare. And I think that helps you stand out when that's your modus operandi to actually try to help other people grow their businesses first and then ask later. It's a different take on it, and it works.
It's Gary V, baby.
It's Gary V. Besides Gary V, what's another book or resource on how to talk to people that you like?
How to talk to people.
How to engage in conversation?
Well, great book, right? Or master class, if anybody has any of the master class. It's called Never Split the Difference, right? By Chris Voss. He was a hostage negotiator, and I love his book. Never Split the Difference, right?
Right.
Talks about how to negotiate, how to communicate with people. It's friggin' awesome. Now you're gonna have to practice it. You're gonna have to practice it and learn it and understand it and internalize it. But he runs a company called the Black Swan Group. He's friggin' awesome. I love him. Every time I listen to this stuff, I'm like, he's so good, right? So,
All right.
I want to be as good as him one day. He's awesome.
We can negotiate about it. All right. So other things you can do: lunches and coffees. Right. We're big on coffee breaks. Find yourself a nice local or big national, if you have to, coffee chain, and try to at least once or twice a week break bread or grab a cup of coffee with people. That is a really good way to really get to know how you can benefit someone, to ask them a little bit more about their business, take a few minutes, learn, and then help.
Well, today it's virtual coffee. Can I buy you a virtual coffee, right?
Yeah, the Bucks is open. You just have to drink it outside on the sidewalk on opposite ends of a bench, I guess. Yeah, this is not a great time for in-person networking.
Well, it's opening up, so we're
getting there. We're getting there. So yeah, we invest in meetings in people, and think of it like that. Think of it as an investment. Anytime you take that card and you put that person in your database, you meet that new person. The time that you invest in them will pay real dollars, and if you can work the math out till you know what the dollars are, it really gives you a good incentive to pick up the phone or text somebody or go get coffee, because you know it's going to generate business for you. All right. Yeah. And you never know where that next superstar is going to come from, right? Not always the people you think. So take time to talk to just about anyone. There is no bad conversation. There is no wasted conversation with someone. Okay. So Rob, kind of getting back into other ways to stay in front of people. Email, pretty obvious. Do you have a preferred platform that you use for emails to efficiently stay in front of people?
So if you go to Google Marketplace and you type in CRMs, you're going to come across like Insightly, Copper. You're going to come across different inexpensive CRMs that are plug and play with Google, right? And the tools that are in there, it blows my mind how inexpensive they are and how robust they are, right? So pick a CRM, right, for you. But to send mass emails out, you're going to use a service like a MailChimp, a MailJet, a Constant Contact, to do like thousands of emails at one time. Many of the CRMs don't allow mass blasting out there.
Right.
Podio is another great one, right, where you can kind of start building things out. But just get a basic CRM would be my thing.
And then the message in those emails, again, try to be a little bit less of, hey, send me something, and a little bit more of, hey, here's something cool that I saw that I think you might get some value from, right?
Actually, it's all educational, right? It's showing and educating these people on what you do. So if you purchased a property and you're renovating that property, and you could say, hey, we just purchased another house. Let me walk you through this renovation. In fact, Mark, I don't know if you remember, like old school videos I was making during the foreclosure crisis on these townhouses that I was buying for in Herndon for $110, $120. Can you guys believe it? Like who remembers that, right? You could buy a single family house in Manassas for $80,000, $90,000. It was insane, right? We should have bought everything. But I was creating these videos of, and just educating people and then sending those videos out. And then people were then opting in. And I was just educating people on how we were prepping these rental properties for sale. That's essentially all your messaging is, right? You want to show what you do, real life, and educate people.
Yep.
The best. Gary Vee does all day long.
Do something fun, tell people about it, but always try to add value. Okay, so we started talking about this, managing this database. So it's great that you know 10,000 people, but how do you know which 10,000 people to talk to? Insightly, do you still use the function with Insightly where it grades your contacts and tells you who to call?
That was called Contactually. That's a different software, which got purchased Compass.
Yeah.
No, Insightly is one that we used a long time ago that just went back to using for grids specifically.
Yeah.
And she really likes it because it has a database. It has a project management piece to it. But what we use is very specific to the agent business. It's called Brevity, not really applicable to investors here. You could use it on the investment side, but I'll tell you a tool that we absolutely love, and we use it for our everything dealing with the project management piece of our business. And there's a lot of projects that are involved in our business, whether we are getting properties prepped, or launching new listings, or buying and renovating properties. And that's Trello, right? Trello is a great project management tool. I love it, especially if you're a visual person. It's an amazing tool to have.
It's like a card stack for kind of organizing your business, right? And collaborating.
Well, it's not a CRM. That's a project management tool. So.
Right. Okay. All right. So I think we've talked about a lot of these, but Copper, Zoho is a great CRM. Those are Gmail add-ons. Trello. They get a lot more complex, but I don't think anything that anybody here is going to get a lot of value out of. Podio is great. It's got a sandbox where you can do all kinds of automated stuff, but I can't even use it. We have other people who use it because I don't want to learn it. It's really too complicated for me. I just literally hand my business cards to people and say, put this in the thing and put them in the list and then get them going. Because it can get to be a bit much. So I think the best CRM is the one that you'll use, right?
Yes. Pick one and stick with it for a long time.
Pick the one that you can actually use to contact people. That's the best CRM. And then the point of all of this is to stay top of mind. You're reaching out, you're letting people know that you exist. You're hopefully reaching out with something that they want to hear, with some good, valuable information or a deal or a lead or a referral. But the point is you're reaching out. They know you're out there. They like you. They know you. They trust you. They know that you've tried to do something for them. So when they have a piece of business that they might be able to send along, you want them to think of you.
Yep.
Pretty straightforward. Create a plan. So this is, Rob, your plan is to contact how many people a day?
Well, we'll look at it a little bit differently, right? We do there's what we call a 33 touch program. Ours is more like 63 times a year. So we touch people at least 63 times a year. So people in my network are going to hear a lot from us. We make it so that it kind of happens automatically. We have emails that go out on the 1st and the 15th. Those emails go out to like 50,000 plus people. And then we make sure that we're doing events like these, right? And we're going to be doing them either monthly. For the investment group, it's monthly. For the agent, it's weekly. And then we have yearly events that are like parties, right? We want to invite people to our events. So for the beginning of this year, we had 500 investors, developers, past clients, friends, family members for a movie night, right? And it was a lot of fun. And we spent like $8,000 doing it, $8,000 or $9,000 doing it. So it was expensive, but we didn't start there, right? We started with some basic events. The idea is you have to organize these events and your emails and your calls so that you're just omnipresent, right? I find that if I tell you everything that we do, you probably get overwhelmed. You just do one thing first, and then you add another thing. And the most important thing that you can do is add people to the CRM and then contact them with items of value every 2 weeks, right? So that they're getting emails from you every 2 weeks. And you just have to do it and then make sure that it happens forever. And if you have a problem, if you're somebody like most of us that we're maybe more people oriented or more sales oriented, I know that in our meetup we get a lot of engineers, we get a lot of attorneys and things like that. So maybe it's easier for you guys, but for, you know, if you've ever heard of the DISC profile, the DIs or the IDs, we tend to not be great at systems. So one thing that you could do is you could hire a virtual assistant and give them the task and say, hey, virtual assistant, I need you to make sure that on the 1st and the 15th of every month, emails are going out to my database. And here, you just have to be disciplined enough to give them the content for that to happen. It's a system. By the way, if you did that basic little system, which 99.999% of you will not do, I'm going to tell you right now, you're just not going to do it. But if you did that, it would probably change your financial picture. It will change your financial picture, but it requires some discipline in order to do it. It's not hard. It's simple, but people get stuck in like the minutia and the details. Well, what should the message say? And like, should I categorize my database between all the different people? And like, they make it complicated. Just make it easy and just be prolific and get information out there, right? If anybody follows Gary Vee in there, he's like, just create the content. Just do it. Just do the videos, create the content. And people don't, right? Because they're worried about how they're going to look or what they're going to say. So set up a program. A simple program would just say, I am making a promise to myself that I'm going to get an email out on the 1st of the month and the 15th of the month. And come hell or high water, I'm going to get that email out. And by the way, that was my first system that I created in the business. I'm going to do it on the 1st and the 15th, which meant that I had to have content for the 1st and I had to have content for the 15th. But now I had it in my calendar. 1st and 15th, these emails go out no matter what. So I needed to make sure that I was creating content a week before on each one of those. And that becomes the system. Guys, if you could do that, you will be, you know, an amazing business person. If you could just do that piece, right? It's the first step in lead generation. Is you got to create a system like that.
A consistent system. How many of these meetups have we missed or not held over the last 10 years?
We've never missed one, Mark.
I think the number is 0. First Tuesday of every month, every year, 10 years. Not this past Tuesday, because the first Tuesday this month, there was some really important stuff going on in society and social platforms that we chose not to present. But every month, first Tuesday, people know where to find us. And when you do a thing consistently, people get used to seeing you. And that's how you stay top of mind. They know you're going to be there. They know you're going to be in whatever that space is that you occupy. You're going to get in that mental space and stay there. And that's
Rob, question.
Yes.
What does CRM stand for?
Customer relationship manager. Yeah. Customer relationship management software.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good question. All right. So we're touching people. Dream Team 2.0, this is kind of the extension of the kinds of relationships that you can have with people that you do a lot of business with. So to use a specific example, Rob, we have a title company that we use almost exclusively. Every agent, every deal, every house, every time we can. Why? What does that do for us, and how has that paid off?
Well, what's happened is because we started sending them a lot of business, and because our business started growing, and because our business started growing, their business started growing, at one point we approached them and we said, guys, we'd love to go into business with you. We'd love to develop a relationship where we're actually business partners with you. And so they've, through the years, supported us with, you know, supporting events and things like that. But now we're actually business partners. We own a piece of a title business, and it's because we sent them a lot of business. And over time, our business grew. And then we were able to kind of command that respect where they said, yeah, we want to be in business with you. Right.
And
go ahead, Mark.
I was going to say, even before that, even before forming an actual business, we've shared a lot of marketing right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
had them
They're-
cover a ton of marketing expense in co-branded
They would
marketing.
help, they'd help sponsor events, right? They would, yeah. Yeah, they want to help you. The more you do, your lender wants to help you. Your hard money lender wants you to be successful, wants you to borrow money, right? Your real estate agent wants you to be successful so that you do more deals, right?
Yep.
So the more that you can direct your business to one or two people, the more they're going to reciprocate back in either marketing dollars, sponsorship dollars, or in referrals.
Right. So I obviously don't be afraid to ask people again that you already do business with, are you interested in, I'm doing a lot of marketing. Do you want to work together on a marketing program? Do you want to be on a piece? Can we split some costs and maybe reach more people or reach people more often by kind of sharing some of that load? Don't be surprised if some people take you up on it.
Does anybody on here live in 20191 zip code? No. Okay. Can't say anybody. Okay. So if you did, you would get a piece of marketing from my company. There's 12,000 people in 20191, and we share that cost with one of our partners, and it's 12,000 pieces that go out every 2 weeks.
Yep.
Now I didn't start there.
Right.
That's what we're doing.
Okay, so that's a thing that you can do when you have a long-standing relationship with someone that you send a lot of business to that wants to do business with you. You can share those kind of costs and have some efficiencies there. If you have a large footprint on a website, if you're doing something like maybe Virginia short sale advice, one day we can get some link backs on that to some of our partner companies where if we're getting a lot of traffic on it, you can link to other people. Sometimes they'll even pay you to be on a highly trafficked website with information that gets that is attractive to people that they want to reach, right?
Yeah, man, if you have a huge social media following, you know that people start paying you for that social media following.
Yeah, I feel like these days I'm probably behind that everyone else on these calls knows more about social media influence than me. But you can be an influencer, right? And that has value. If you have a large footprint, people will pay to have access to your large footprint, right?
Yes.
We just have to find ways to get more Insta famous.
By the way, it's your same thing if you have a large list, an email list. People
Right.
will pay you for access to that email list.
Yeah.
Now, you don't sell that list, but what you do is you co-brand so that if you're sending out large pieces of email marketing, they're on there, and maybe they pay you for that as well.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, we're getting pretty close. That is the large bulk of the information we have. But just kind of to wrap up the conversation about how important this is, you're thinking of how you can generate extra business, extra revenue from your relationships, but you'll generate more by trying to give more. But contact suppliers, partners, all those people can have link backs, and you can find them all at places like this. Other investor groups at other events on other social media platforms. That's where you want to look for other people who are doing what you do, and then invite them to be a part of your network, invite them into your network and say, hey, I know a lot of people. I'm now a member of this cool thing called the Grid Investor Network that's got 3,000 members just in Reston, like 14,000 just in the DMV. Invite other people into this group. They'll appreciate that information. And it will pay you back.
Let me ask you guys an easy way to make to leverage what you're already doing. Who's licensed in here? Who's got a real estate license? Terry, did you say you had a license? No. Okay.
I have.
Who's that? Who's
Shanti.
that?
Shanti.
Okay, so Shanti's got a real estate license, right? I want you guys to think about, but all of you are interested in real estate, right? In real estate investing and building wealth and being a landlord and wholesaling and like all that stuff, which means that you guys are all going to be marketing out there. You're going to be looking for deals. You're going to be talking and networking. You might even do direct mail. You're going to be sending emails out. One really easy way to be able to make additional dollars without being a real estate agent, right, is to get your real estate license, which, by the way, gives you access to the MLS, gets you access into properties quickly, right? I really believe that anybody playing this game, the investment game, should not rely on an agent like me to bring them deals. They need to go out and find deals, right? I want you guys to know that you should all get your license, because at a minimum, let's say, Andy, you come across a friend or a family member that says, hey, they want to sell a house, they want to buy a house. And you don't want to be an agent. You don't want to play the agent game. You don't have time. You've got another occupation, right? You're focused on your investments. But because you have a license, you can give somebody like me a referral or somebody like Shanti a referral and earn 25% of that commission, right? And so every year you can have 2 or 3 or 4 deals like that where you're just getting these referral fees that come in, right? And in our area, the average commission is $12,000, $13,000, $15,000, right? You're getting 25% of that. That's nothing to sneeze at. And you're going to do it as a byproduct of what you're already doing, right? You're already marketing and networking out there, right? So it would just be another easy way to fill the hole when it comes to your marketing dollars. You can take those referral fees and then apply it towards marketing for your investment business.
And Rob, how much does it cost to become an agent?
I mean, the license is like a couple $100, right? To take. It's easy to take. It's not difficult. And you don't, there's different brokerages that are out there. Like, I'm with Keller Williams. Keller Williams is great if you're looking to build a business and build a brand, right? And that's what you can do. But if you're going to play just like an investor, that's not where you want to go. You want to go to a discount house that's not going to take really any commission from you, right? Because on those referral fees that come in, they get taxed by the broker, right? In one way, shape, or form. And so if you do that with a Long and Foster, you do that with a Keller Williams, the tax is kind of high for referral fees, right? If you go to like a smaller independent brokerage, they might only charge you a couple $100 for that referral fee. And so, believe me, I love KW. I bleed red KW. But if you're just going to play that kind of game, it's not the place to be. If you're going to build a big business, it's definitely the place to be, right? But not for the referral game.
Okay. And takes like 3 months maybe to take all of the classes and take the test. And
yeah, you can knock it out in 3 weeks,
a
month, right?
Okay.
Easy to do.
All right. Questions?
Anybody have questions?
Did we not cover with?
Now, I will say there was I think Sam had mentioned, I think it was Sam, that she wanted to learn how to wholesale, right? And that she was looking for a mentor when it came to wholesaling, right? Yes, Vishal, we're going to record this. We will have it up. Jess will put it somewhere. Jess does all of our marketing. We'll make sure that you can have it. So wholesaling, what you need to know, the way we structure this is that at the beginning of the year, we talk about wholesaling because it's a very foundational piece of the business. And then what we do is we add on trainings so that you just keep learning incrementally, so that by the end of the year, you understand the full life cycle of a real estate investor. If you want to go back and look at some of our wholesaling recordings like this, I believe Jess has them somewhere, Mark. We need to find out from Jess like what she's doing with that, right? Yeah. But you can also just find a lot of that stuff on YouTube, right? I know that we have a back-end platform that we're building back out, that people can get access to a lot of that information for free. I just don't know right now if she's hosting the investor stuff back there.
Yeah, I don't know if all the content's been uploaded yet, but all of these past events will be there. A lot of the videos that I've made in construction sites and in deal houses and stuff will eventually be there. So just keep going back to gridinvestor.com. It's getting better every day. There's more cool stuff there every day.
Yeah.
All right. So check that out.
So who's got, Sandra, do you have a question?
No, I was just going to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Rob, I actually have a question.
Yep.
So let's say I want to invest out of state because I found this amazing deal on like a 120 unit multifamily apartment building. but I don't have any dream team in that location. What is the best way to create that team? Kind of, being here in Northern Virginia and saying that you want to find a property down in, let's say, Tennessee or something like that. What's the best way to go about that?
I would find the local meetup that's there, the one that's reputable, right? The one of the largest ones, and just start saying that, hey, I'm looking to build relationships with people. I want to invest in this area. Who do you know? Who can I talk to, right? I'd go into bigger pockets and see if there's investors that are local in that area that are possibly doing it. One day Grid will be there, so you could go to the local Grid, place and do it. But every place has got their local chapters that are being run by people.
The National Real Estate Investor Association usually has links in most states for their local chapter. You can start there.
Yep. The other piece is Facebook, right? Going on looking for the groups that are in that area that are already providing content, and then just engaging people there is another way to do it. I mean, social media has really opened up the world when it comes to this. We can build our network so much faster than before. Contacting property management companies would be another way to do it. They know who the landlords are. They know who the contractors are. They can steer you in the right direction. And they're going to want to give you the information because they're going to want your business at some point. Right? So they should be helpful to you.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
Good
Anybody
suggestions. All. I like that, Rob. It was a good list.
Thank you. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Soon we'll get together in real life with a little social distancing. The cool thing about this is I saw a couple people like drinking beer while they're watching this. Like, I'm going to miss that. I'd normally be cool to have a beer here. We don't do that in the actual meetup, but cool to be able to watch from home. So thanks for joining, guys.
Well, what we can do is normally when we're live, then the last slide is network. So if you haven't been to one of the in-person events, ours, the original, the OG Grid Network meets at our KW office in Reston in the large training room. We're going to find a way to do that again where we're all able to keep a safe distance, but then be at least in the same room with one another where we can then hang out for a little bit longer and just talk business. You have a question that you don't want to ask in front of the room. Rob and I are always there kind of talking, and you'll be able to meet other investors. You'll get those business cards. You'll talk to the other wholesalers, find out, how to get on their list to get deals. The lenders will show up. You'll find out who the good lenders are that you'll be able to get money from. There's so much power in actually being in a room with other people. We can't wait to be able to do it again, and it looks like we'll be able to do it soon. So hopefully we'll be able to see some of you there as well.
Yeah, and I will ask guys is connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, right? Find me there. The more connected we are, the better.
DMV Facebook group. It's a closed group. You have to ask to let in, but we let everybody in that seems legit. It is free, but we leave it closed so that we don't have to let in spammers and things that will make it less valuable. So we think it is highly valuable. So find us there and please join that group as well.
Cool. Okay, guys. Cool. Make it a great day. Go get
Thanks
a deal.
for coming out, everybody. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you soon.